What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Basara 3. Alright, time for a two-part episode, sort of, where we'll have two fights in one, because some of these are pretty short, so I feel like we can go just a little bit over time and pack them both into one video, which means the finale will be coming up a lot sooner than we anticipated. So Ieyasu looks like he's cleaning house with the remainder of the outlying forces, and getting whoever he can to join his cause. Ooh, this will be interesting. Ha! Could have seen that coming. Like combat Kuroda. Nice. So, Otomo Soren will not be participating in Sekigahara, which is nice.
Really? That's an easy thing to say. I've never had any faith in myself before.
Don't worry, there's a lot more of him where that came from in Basara 4. Alright, so let's go over our setup really quick here. We actually unlocked Kenshin as an ally, so I may go ahead and equip him so we can get some Kenshin action going on here since we haven't been able to play as him. So we have, again, three options we can go to here. I don't want to do Hojo again, and I don't want to do... I think the other one was Yoskiaki Mogami. I think we're going there next, which will be the third time I've shown that one off. So this is only the second time we've shown off Yoshishige, I believe. It could be the third. Either way, not a very interesting stage. Yoshishige is, again, one of those filler characters that doesn't have a whole lot going on for him. And the way they handle his character is pretty bare bones at best. In addition to the fact that they don't really dub his lines all that well. Like, you just see the... you hear the dialogue, but you see no lip movement or anything like that. So they clearly didn't care to flesh out this character all that much. But one thing we will see is a lot of occupational chiefs in this match that are going around to capture these camps back. So it's a nice, fair map where you feel like the enemy is really sufficiently fighting back to try to capture the respective territories on the map. Here they go. I'm skipping that animation because we have to watch that animation like 3 times each time we do this map, and it's excruciating.
It's meant to help us with our clumsiness.
So one of them is coming right this way. There's a little side area I want to go down right here to get a chest. Nothing I really care about in there, but it's there. I figured I might as well show it off. You can see it on the mini-map there. So we unlocked the final move for Yukimura, which is, again, if you tap R2 and then hit, he'll stick his spears into the ground, and then if you hit square, he will do like a vertical kick upward, and if you hit triangle, he will spin around and create a tornado of flames, as he's known for doing in the anime, which we'll be showing off that pretty soon. Definitely one of my favorite moves to do is Yukimura. It reminds me a lot of, we had a version of this in the previous games, but I don't feel like it was as good. It was kind of unreliable in Basara 1, and so I didn't really care for it all that much, but now I think it's actually pretty good.
This doesn't look too good.
I think Keiji or somebody had a similar move where, depending on the button context that you push at that time, you'll get a different variation of the move. Yeah, I can't remember what character that was. Anyway, so I figured, because this is basically just going to be somewhat of a filler episode with stages that you guys have already seen before, I figured now I would go ahead and take the opportunity to talk about Sanada Yukimura in real history, because I haven't really done that yet. I've been so focused on him in the fictional context of Basara, I haven't really talked about him as a historical figure, but because there's a lot to talk about, but he's just such a prolific main character, I didn't feel like I had any time. So we're going to go into that now. So Yukimura, his real name being Sanada Nobushige, was the middle child of 3 brothers that made up the Sanada clan, and they had a pretty influential role in the Sengoku era conflict, including, well, he was always portrayed in fiction. I messed up that jump there. It's supposed to be a zip line, but I think I messed it up. He's always portrayed in fiction as being really young. And he was born kind of later into the Sengoku conflict compared to some of the other generals. But by the time of Sekigahara in 1600, he was 33 years old, actually. So during this time that we're at right now, he's not such a young kid anymore, if we're going by historical accuracy. He was born in 1567? Yeah, that's right. So he and his other brothers actually did have a brief alliance with the Takeda clan, and we don't really get to see any of his brothers, or they're not even mentioned in the Basara continuity. But they are pretty influential in the other adaptations. Even Samurai Warriors talks about the Sanada clan and the other brothers. And Yukimura was a known supporter of Ieyasu up until Sekigahara was happening, in which Yukimura decided to ally with the Western forces, just like here in the game, and side with Mitsunari. One of his brothers, however, ended up getting put up against him on the side of the Eastern Front with Ieyasu. So when things started going south during Sekigahara, the Sanada clan decided to retreat to the Ueda castle and fortify it. And a very, very, very famous battle took place there, where Yukimura was able to defend the castle against 40,000 men with only 2,000 of his own men, which that pretty much puts him in legendary status right there. And he was killed in, unfortunately, Ieyasu was out to get him at that point, so he was killed in 1615 when, unfortunately, the Tokugawa clan sent a whopping 150,000 soldiers after his castle, and after accepting his fate, he removed his helmet when a samurai recognized him as Sanada Yukimura and quickly ended his life. The shrine where Yukimura was felled is still accessible in the... what's the name of that shrine? The Yasui Shrine is, and it's still you can go to the gravesite of Yukimura essentially there if you choose to in Japan. So quite a lot of prolific influence there. Again, very influential character, and again his exploits are largely fictitious in the context of all of the adaptations and popular culture. And Sengoku Basara is no exception. I think. For example, the dual-wielding spears is obviously an exaggeration. The relationship with Takeda Shingen is a bit of an exaggeration. He actually did have one battle with Masamune towards the end of his life. It was right before... I think it was. You could actually argue that fight with Masamune was what ultimately resulted in him meeting his end, because he had the fight with Masamune being an avid ally of Ieyasu at that point, and when Yukimura retreated to his castle, that's when the Tokugawa sent that army of 150,000 soldiers to destroy him, which they did quite successfully. So that's pretty cool to think about that in real history, Yukimura and Masamune actually did fight, although they didn't have a lifelong rivalry. They probably didn't even meet until Sekigahara. Even then, okay, we got the blaze cake now. We didn't actually have it in the previous fight. We have it now, though. Yeah, it's pretty cool to think about that they actually did fight, even though they didn't meet each other as young men. Again, Yukimura would have been in his 30s by the time he even met Masamune, and he died at about 47. So, let's see what else. The Yukimura actually married Yoshitsugu's daughter, and he adopted the daughter of Hideyoshi, interestingly enough. He also had many, 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 many children, all of which I'm not going to try to name. And that, in a nutshell, is Sanada Yukimura. So, alright, the final stage before Sekigahara, we're going to be taking out Yoskiaki Mogami again, and this will be like the third time. But the final time, we're getting dangerously close to the finale of the game, so I really hope you guys have enjoyed this as much as I have. This has definitely been the best Basara Let's Play I've done so far. I really loved the Let's Play for the other couple of games leading up to this, but like I said, this was like the pinnacle of everything from a storyline standpoint. Seeing the game's technology evolve over the years as we went through the different iterations, being able to talk about the characters as they evolved in the fictional story and their relation to the anime story, the relation to their historical exploits, and just how the gameplay evolved over each game. It was really an incredible experience to be able to experience this together with you guys. So here's the flame kick maneuver. So again, we tap R2 and we stick our spears into the ground, and we can do this awesome spinning attack, which is one of my favorite things to do as Yukimura. Now, I wish there was a way to, and I feel like there is at some point, because I've seen it in videos, and maybe we'll do it in Basara 4, where you start spinning like that, and then you can actually start moving forward and taking out more enemies with you instead of just standing in one place, which I definitely think is the preference. But again, you can also just stick your spears into the ground and then do like a backflip kick and kick whatever enemy is right in front of you, which is pretty effective as well, but it's a single hit as opposed to many numerous small hits. So you guys know the drill. For this map, we have to take out the two camps that have been marked on the map in order to open the water gates so that our boat full of soldiers can get to the where it needs to in time, and all the archers on the boat will attack the guys behind the gate up ahead there, so we can have a little bit of a shortcut. So we give them a shortcut, they give us a shortcut essentially, and if we do not open these gates in time and we allow the boat to take the long way around, unfortunately what that may result in is the boat being destroyed by enemy archers that are attacking it from the shoreline. So they'd be standing over here on the side and just shooting arrows at it or whatever, and eventually all of our guys would get killed. So again, I'm going to skip this camp right here. This is a mistake I made the first time going through this map, I think, as Ieyasu. And then I fixed that later on when we came through here. I think we came through here as Magoichi, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going up to the second, we're going up to the next camp up here, up in the corner. And once we open up that waterway, the boat will be able to pass through and go straight to the end of the map, which is going to take out a lot of enemies up front for us, which is awesome. If we, oh, we're running close on time here. We got to clear this. Ooh. Yeah, if we don't clear this in time, the boat is going to be forced to take the long way around, which is what we do not want. Obviously, the boat is not going to stay still. Wait for us to clear this. Nice. And you can see the boat correcting its course there. It was right about to turn and go the long way around, but we managed to correct it. So now I can probably go back and get that other camp if I wish. Alright, the archers and the spearmen killed all the enemies on the other side of that gate for us, so we can get across there now. There's a couple of other camps that I never really go out of my way to get to. If we were to follow these bridges across the river here, there's two more that are in the center, but it just makes sense to kind of follow the shoreline and head straight up towards the end of the map. I really don't know why you would go the long way around and take out all those other ones. If maybe you were trying to mitigate the damage done to the boat by attacking those enemies that are along the waterway, but even then, it's like, just open up those shortcuts. Like, it really doesn't... It's kind of a no-brainer, really.
They're bombing us again.
Yeah, Yukimura does use this move in the anime here and there, and he also he has a rather famous maneuver in The Last Party, where in his, I guess you could say, grudge match with Masamune, where they're essentially just sparring it out, even though they both have bigger things to worry about. Yukimura sticks his spears into the ground and does the backflip kick while on his horse, and does a, like, full flip on the horse, flipping the horse and everything. And even though, like, in terms of raw strength and, like, over-the-top shonen action maneuvers, it's not the most ridiculous thing we've seen in Basara, but just the sheer implausibility of it and how he just effortlessly does it is definitely one of the more, like, laughably stupid and awesome moments in the Basara anime. We usually when a conversation around Basara comes up, especially between me and my friends, usually it's going to result in us mentioning Yukimura flipping the horse or Hideyoshi punching the sea and winning. Those seem to be the most iconic like shonen moments. There we go. That's really, it does a lot of damage and breaks through those pike formations pretty easily. A couple more camps up here, which we'll go ahead and clear out. So Kenshin, as an ally, all he really does is add, ice damage to our Basara attack. So he can be kind of useful just fighting along him, by himself back there. And then for that little bit extra damage. But other than that, he doesn't have any real buffs that assist us when it comes to combat, you know, like unlike Kojiro or like the guy who gives you giant proof or the guy that gives you money, stuff like that. He just gives us elemental damage. So he's more like Motochika in that regard, where Motochika is kind of the same way. So we're going to go ahead and take out Yoskiaki Mogami. And he has quite a few stars this time around because we did not take out a lot of those camps along the waterway. Not to mention we lost the first two that we had captured. We lost one at the very beginning and we lost that third one. And I think the reason for that is we didn't go back and capture the second one after that gate was open. But we should be fine. He's going to tank our damage pretty effectively here, but we're still pretty strong. And the important thing with Yukimura is just knowing how to cover your weak points in your combo chain to where you're not going to be exposed. And as you can see here, if we use the super art towards the very end of our combo chain and stick our spears in the ground, we can do like one last finishing maneuver with the kick if we want to. And that again covers our open spots like that. Of course, Yoskiaki Mogami might just take a cheap shot at us like that, but you know, what's stopping him, really? He also had a full Basara gauge, but he's not going to have a chance to use it because us and Kenshin just took him right out.
The voice in my dream. Is it saying to try harder? Even if I were to...
Please wait! Please! I am Toshie Maeda's wife. My name is Matsu. As you can see, I've been taken hostage to force Toshie's surrender. They will stop at nothing to see him fall. I thought I would never again set foot upon the land of Kaga. And just when I had finally given up hope. I shall not forget this. You have my everlasting gratitude. Well then, please allow me to be excused.